Chattanooga, welcome back to What's Happening in Your Neck of the Woods. I am Dr. Elenora Woods, your host for this show, and I am so glad to see each and every one of you. It's always a pleasure to see the people out there in what I call our land of the plenty. And we are just full of so much excitement, so many things going on in Chattanooga and surrounding area. And we are always doing something in the community to make it better. And before we get to these amazing men that sit over here to my left, I'd like to talk a little bit about Kwanzaa. You pull Kwanzaa up for me. Kwanzaa is a very special season for the African American community. And we love to share and talk about Kwanzaa with everyone. And it's celebrated the day after Christmas. It starts on the 26th of December, and then it goes on into January the 1st. And as soon as my engineer get those the candelabra out, I can show you all the actual meaning of what each candle represents. And while we are waiting on our technical staff here to get that ready, I'll just go ahead and introduce you to our two fine, distinguished guests here on our show. And we're going to start off with Mr. McClure, Victor McClure, who is one of the lead persons in the farm project that we have going on out here in Chattanooga, and Mr. Nathaniel Bankhead, who is an amazing leader also in this project. We are just blessed. I tell you, every time I turn around, blessings, blessings, blessings. And I just thank the Lord for bringing these two men into the fold of his plan with Alton Park Development Corporation. And they're going to tell you all about what's going on out here at the Chattanooga Civic Center at Mountainside. We were blessed to have 8 acres of land. And so I was sitting there thinking one day, and I said, you know what? God didn't bless us with all this property out here to just be sitting on it and looking at it. It's beautiful, but he didn't bless us to just look at it, right? And so these are some farmers. They're all over the city of Chattanooga feeding people, planting food and herbs and spices and vegetables and all this stuff, making sure that everybody's getting this wholesome food. So we're going to let them chime in a minute, but we're going to go back to the Kwanzaa because that's really important. We're leaving one season and bringing in the new year through Kwanzaa. So I want to talk to you all about Kwanzaa. So happy Kwanzaa to everybody. We're in the second day of Kwanzaa. So we've already celebrated unity. That's so important. And it's a moja. And we strive for and maintain unity in our families, the community, nation, and the race. And then we come to our second one, which is self-determination. And with self-determination, that's really important. And by the way, you see all the fruit also on the screen there. The fruit is very important in this celebration. And I'm going to have a young lady to come on, hopefully, if I can get her to commit to come on and talk about Kwanzaa before it's over. The third principle is the collective work and responsibility. That's kind of what we're doing now. We're working together, and we're also being responsible to everybody by what we do and what we have to offer. It's very important to be responsible for our people and our friends and family around us and our community. Also, cooperative economics. You know, people don't think a lot about economics and how valuable it is to each and every one of us to put our 1 cent, 2 cent in to build a very successful economy. If we do not, you know what's happening right now all over the country. It's very important that we all cooperate with one another, not just in our city, but from one state to the other, from one nation to the next. We have to all work together so that everything runs smoothly. And we're talking about it from the perspective of the family right here. And I know that we have all kinds of programs going on with Alton Park Development Corporation dealing with just that issue. National Action Network, which I'm the president of, is a civil rights organization, and we're dealing with the economics of our families right now. It's important that we understand how each one of us has a role to play in ensuring that we have a secure, I call it financial network or financial system in our houses. And then purpose. What is your purpose? What are you really doing that's making a difference and that God can get the glory from? Sometimes we don't really realize our purpose until we get a little older and get our lives settled. Sometimes it takes a minute, right, to find out what our purpose is. But once you know your purpose, you're supposed to dive in and go 100%. Creativity. Some people say, I'm not creative. They really don't realize they really are. May not be as creative as you, or they may not be as creative as you are, but everybody has something they can add to make our lives a lot better with their creativity. And then faith. That to me is the most essential part or element of all of our lives is our faith. Faith. What do you believe in? You know, how are you going to make sure that your faith is exercised? Do you just say, oh, I believe, I believe? So God says faith without works is what?
Dead.
It's dead. So we not only have to have faith that things will happen, we have to also put things into action to make sure that our faith is heard and overcome. So we want to just say happy Kwanzaa to all of you and those that are celebrating Kwanzaa, having different Kwanzaa celebrations throughout the city, throughout your church communities, your home, even in your home, to make sure you take these principles and apply them every day of your life. If you do that, this world would be a better place. So happy Kwanzaa to all of my sisters and my brothers out there all over the land, and enjoy this year coming up. We go straight into 2026 from 2025. So now we're going to turn over to why are we here today? What's going on? Happy Kwanzaa to you two men. Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I'm going to start off with my distinguished guest over here to the very left of me, Mr. McClure. Mr. McClure, tell us a little bit about you.
Well,
First of all, y'all, he got the right hat on. You know, he's a University of Tennessee guru, and so am I. That's where we went to school and got our undergraduate degrees from. So
go Vols.
Kudos, go Vols. Yes.
So I'm from Tennessee, born in Nashville, Tennessee, raised in Clarksville, Tennessee, and moved here when I was about 12 years old. And I have went to school like in Knoxville, so I'm been in real touch with this area of the country, and lived here most of my life. Just traveled. Well, I lived here my whole life, but traveled around just a little bit, and been in this type of industry, working in landscape and outdoors, and really have built a connection with the land, and really it speaks to me, and it's just part of me. And this is what I want to give back to the community, is trying to bring education and agriculture and food and connection to the Chattanooga community.
You've been doing this for how many years?
20 years.
20 years, y'all. Now, you all know what they say. Somebody has at least 10 years of experience in any particular field, they're considered an expert. And 10 years is equivalent to 4 years of college. And so he has a lot of experience. He's an expert. I told him that when he was here earlier before we went on the air. I said, you're an expert in this area. You've got 20 years of experience doing this. So welcome to our show together. We're going to dive right in a minute as soon as we introduce our next fine guest here, Mr. Nathaniel Bankhead. Tell us a little bit about you and what do you do?
Yeah, I also grew up here and have found myself doing landscaping and farming because that feels like the best way to give back to the place that I grew up. I felt like this landscape shaped me. In my early career, I was doing financial education and jobs readiness and that kind of thing, and really wanted to bring in food and land to that. And that really accelerated during COVID. And I met this guy early on in COVID, and we hit it off pretty quickly. Shared love of this place and growing food and making things beautiful. And here we are.
Oh, wow. You know what? I just have so much love and appreciation for what you guys do. It makes the world a beautiful place, you know, and definitely what we're seeing here at the Chattanooga Civic Center at Mountainside. I mean, I'm sorry, y'all, but I still think we got the number one place in the city of Chattanooga. When these guys get through putting their magic hands and their blessings all over this land over here, we're going to be number one. We're number one. We're number one. So tell me a little bit about what you've done so far here at the Chattanooga Civic Center. And by the way, they're not just doing it here at the Chattanooga Civic Center. They're doing it all over the city. So kudos to you and what you're doing to give back to this community, and for all of the partners that are involved in making this happen, for all of you foundations and anyone that have had anything to do with these young men being able to do what they do in this city. We congratulate and thank you so much. So now here at this center, we're going to talk about Alton Park Development Corporation and our Civic Center here. What are some of the things that you've done? And let me just go back. What made you all want to come here?
Well, one thing, we want to provide nutrition in a place where there's not a lot of nutrition, and also education about agriculture, and start to bring food to the people, and not just that, bring just have something where people can start to get outside again, put their hands in the dirt, get connected, start building that relationship like we were talking about earlier, building that relationship with the land and what you're eating and how it brings people together. And food really does that.
Yeah, and this is a food desert, by the way. There's no grocery store. There's nothing over here. Yeah. So this is welcome by this community, this whole gamut of, learning how to plant food, grow their own food, harvest it, which you can get into that too a little bit. But this is a blessing for this community. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart to bring your skills and your expertise to this area. And not only, you're not just planning it, they're teaching people how to do it. So that's the other thing. You can bring people the fish, but it's best if you teach them how to fish so that they'll never be hungry anymore for it. So tell me a little bit about some of the stuff you've done so far, getting the people on board themselves to take control of, I call it this food desert, not having any ready available fruits and vegetables and things of that nature.
Well, Dr. Woods, we ought to say thank you as well, because I think you can see a lot about a person by the way that they view the land they're on.
Yes.
And your vision and your imagination for this place to include, the food people eat and the bodies that work the land in the way that you understand your work here. That's one of the main reasons why we're here.
Yes.
Is you're open to this.
It's important. It's very important. And with the stuff that's going on in America, and I was taking my grandbabies back to their parents this morning, and I live in a kind of very rural area in Cohutta, and we were passing by some farmland, and my 5-year-old said, "Look, Nana, there's some cows," and they were grazing, on the grass. And in my mind, I was just thinking to myself, yeah, but those are cows. We're going to eat the meat, but we're drinking their milk, but it's an animal. What if we were grazing, we were eating all over the land? We would be just as healthy. So this thing of planting fruits and vegetables and all the kinds of things that even cows eat to stay healthy has to be good for humans. And that went through my mind. I was thinking, yeah, a farm. Yes, this is great. And that just hit me just like that. That was this morning. And I thought about you all and what you do every day to make sure that humans, not just the animals, that humans can eat from the land, like cows eat from the land. A lot of animals eat from the land, and they're healthy. And I just want to thank you all for what you do to make us healthy.
Well, thank you.
Yes.
Yeah. We started with the soil. We had to make sure that there was no heavy metal poisoning. So we got the Department of Environment and Conservation out and tested. And thankfully, it's clean.
Did y'all hear that? The land that Alton Park Development Corporation sits on, the Civic Center, the land is good. And with the land being good, guess what? That means that the food, the seeds that's going in the soil, when it comes up and is harvested, it's going to be good. So they went through the first step. Let's make sure that this land is fertile or is good for us to even start planting anything. And they found the test came back, it was good. So thank you all for that step. So I'm telling y'all, when y'all get this food, it's already been cleared by the who? The environmental agency? Uh-huh. Okay, so y'all heard that. So now let's continue talking about it. You're looking at some pictures. Tell us, what are we looking at?
So we're looking at our groundbreaking. The first day we came out and had some help from a professor over at UTC, brought her students out and helped us start to break ground on putting in crop rows right here. So that's what you're seeing right here. So that's the space, that's the outline of the space we're going to use for the for our crop rows this spring.
Wow. You know, it's just sometimes, you know, you look at stuff and you think about what God has put in your heart to do and how he has created his plan for us, just specifically for us. And then when you see it come to be, it touches you in a different way. You know, like when you're a part of God's plan, you know you're part of God's plan because you're going to bear fruit. All you got to do is just look at the person or the organization or the people that are doing whatever they're doing. If they're bearing good fruit, you know that you're right in line with God. And so when I saw those pictures, I was thinking to myself, we're bearing good fruit. This is all in his plan, his vision, and we are just a part of it. We're doing our little part. I don't farm, you know, but I can be taught how to do some things, right?
Right.
That's your lane. You're actually the educators. You know, you're educating people who don't know about farming how to farm, even on a microscopic level. Every little bit that you teach us, we take in and we do it. And then you can go on to the next project and then the next project. So at the end of the day, you'll have all these projects all over the place. In Chattanooga will be one of the best places to farm. And I thank you all for that. That just touched my heart to see those pictures. And you got the UTC involved and their students and their professors involved with coming out to make sure that this project was a success from the beginning. I understand about that. If the ground ain't right, if the foundation is not right, then everything on top of it will crumble. It's like when I do a crown or put an implant in somebody's mouth. If the bone is not solid, if it's diseased, and I put an implant in, the implant's going to fail, right? The ground has to be solid. If it's not solid, don't put it there. So first thing you did was test the soil. That's the first thing you did. No, if the soil was bad, no go. You know, the bone ain't right. Sorry, I'd love to put this implant in, but your bone is not solid enough. You can't do it. You know, no go. And then when you build on top of it, everything is going to be good.
It is. We really looking forward to working, you know, like you said, just teaching not just everyone in the community, but really looking forward for that next generation and finding for that younger generation and find the next people who are going to feed their families.
Yes.
And who feed the community as well. So we're on this search for new farmers. So that's what we're looking for.
Yeah, I heard that. So now I'm looking forward to some educational courses being taught here at the Civic Center for anybody that want to learn about farming. We're going to work that out so that at least once a month, we start off there having classes where people can learn, or maybe even twice a month. If the interest gets even better, maybe 3 or 4 times a month, you know, where people can come and learn and get the tools that they need to be successful in their farming or their gardening projects. So, man, this is so big that every time I tell somebody about it, they're like, what, you're serious? I didn't realize how many people really were interested in gardening and planting their own food. You know, I should have kind of picked up on it because my daughter She has a little, I call it raised beds on her balcony at her place, and she grows a lot of stuff in there. She even grew little watermelons. I didn't know you could grow watermelons.
On a
Here,
basement,
I thought you had to live in Florida to grow watermelon. So cucumbers, all these great things. She uses them in her food, her salads, and things like that. So it's a real phenomenal right here now. I'm telling y'all, it's great. So what kind of stuff are you planting? I want to know. The people want to know what can we look forward to?
We're looking forward to be as biodiverse as possible. So we want to have as much crop in the ground as possible. So if you can think about it, and if we want to incorporate it, we will. And the reason being is because the more that we put out there, the more fertile the soil becomes, and that we're able to continue to, we have the right rotation and getting it because everything we're trying to do is increase the fertility of that soil as us as farmers is what we're trying to do. And if you can expound on what you think on that. So
I look at it as we're setting the table. So we're getting the soil to a point that it can accommodate what people want to eat. So we're getting it ready for fruits and nuts and veggies, herbs, all of it. And it being a community farm, we can take requests. But
yes, you can. Absolutely. I already put my request in. I love turnip greens. So I want me some turnip greens. I love turnip greens. And I like tomatoes and onions and cucumbers.
Well, all that'll be in there.
Yep.
Yeah, I love all of that. I love all of that. You were saying something about nuts? What type of nuts are you talking about?
Well, these would be trees and shrubs.
Okay.
So
we tried a tree.
Like Victor said, we're looking for the next generation of farmers. So we're going to grow stuff for this year. We're also going to grow stuff that's going to give us fruit in 40, 50 years.
Oh, wow. So we could actually have us an apple tree. What do you call those? Pecan trees. What kind of nuts are you talking about?
That's exactly
pecans.
Right.
Pecans.
Yeah.
Y'all heard that? Pecans and apple trees right here at the Chattanooga Civic Center. How long does it take for them to grow and actually mature to bear fruit once you put it in the ground?
7 to 10 years.
7 to 10 years. Okay. I'll be retired, so I'll be able to come over here and grab some nuts and some bananas and whatever else we're going to grow out there. Okay, fantastic. Wow, man, this is exciting me so much.
Yeah.
When you think about it, when God is in something, he's always doing something. God is always doing something. Just when you think, nothing to do. What are we going to do? We do this, we do that. And bam, there he is. This is one of those bam, there he is. God has showed up at the Chattanooga Civic Center with the City Farm people, and they are coming with expertise, the knowledge and the wisdom to produce a very healthy farm with the people. They're talking about educating people. They're talking about the new generation of farmers getting involved, looking to find some people who are interested in farming, but they just didn't know where to start, where to go. If they want to get involved with farming, with your organization, how can they reach out to you? What number, what email, what website should they go to find you guys?
They could probably go to wildvioletpermaculture.com.
Wildvioletpermaculture.org. .com. Okay, so we're going to run that across the screen here. So is there a phone number or an email that somebody can get to you quicker if they needed to? Because I imagine, now you're already working with UTC. Who else are you working with besides UTC on this level of support for what you're doing? Is that the main organization, the main
right now
program?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd say more than anything, just come see us in the garden.
Okay.
Come visit, come look at what we're doing.
Okay.
See it in person.
How often then?
We're going to try to, we're going to put together work days coming up in this coming year, and probably once a month try to do something like that once a month to get out there, because there's plenty to do.
Okay.
Just to get it to the scale and where we want it. There's going to be plenty to do.
Like, what are some of the things that they can help you guys with now that you need some help with? Because I know on one of the days when we were doing the raised beds before you got down to the land site, there were lots of volunteers that came out that day to help put the dirt in the raised beds and put the first seeds in the raised beds, and they were doing all kinds of stuff. So what kind of things are you needing down on the farm end? I call it the farm end. Yeah, the real farm. It's not raised bed, it's on soil. What kind of things do you need volunteers to help you with now?
Well, last fall with UTC, we started double digging garden beds. So that work will continue through the winter. We'll be mulching. We'll be pulling out the sod. We'll be putting a fence around the area to delineate what's the play space near the playground and what's food growing space closer to the building. So we're at step one.
Yeah.
Wow.
You come out now and you'll get to see the thing from the ground up.
Oh yeah. And they're taking pictures. They're kind of I guess you could call it doing a mini series of chronological.
We're going to definitely keep a chronological
pictures of what they're doing every time they go out.
Log of everything.
Yeah, those pictures I saw almost brought me to tears. I wasn't there that day. The UTC and all the folks were over there, but that's okay. You all are videotaping and taking pictures, so I mean I'm good with that. But it's just amazing what goes into what farmers do. I know we go to the grocery store. The lettuce is there, the greens, the onions, and the apples and the oranges and all these things. And we just grab a bag and go to the register and pay for it, right? But what really went into growing that is so exciting.
It is, right? I think,
man,
isn't it? I think there's a level of appreciation when you get to see it grow and be a part of the whole process. And it tastes better.
I was about to say that. The stuff I've noticed is, I don't know if you guys noticed it, Michael, but the food that comes from the ground versus that stuff that has been, I don't know what they call it. That comes in the store that's not wholesome.
We call that
commercial
farming.
Yeah.
Commercial farming.
Commercial farming. It is so different. They put so much of that stuff in the food when they're growing it that changes the taste. You can tell the difference between a cucumber that was grown in your garden at your house versus a cucumber that you buy in the grocery store. One's going to be more delicious and juicy and flavorful. One's going to be kind of bland and not as juicy. You know, it doesn't have the same texture even. It is so different, and it makes you appreciate whole food that's grown from the ground that you maybe produce or you've gotten from a farm. I appreciate the difference. I can tell the difference. I had some tomatoes that we grew right here at the Civic Center. I took it right off the vine, rinsed it off, and ate that tomato whole with nothing else. That was one of the best tasting tomatoes. It just tasted so, it was juicy. The texture of the orange peel on the tomato was so heavenly. It was just so good. And I ate it with nothing. I ate a tomato whole and enjoyed and wanted more of it. It was that good. It had a sweetness to it that I can't explain. Yet it tasted wholesome. It is a difference between growing your food in your garden and going to buy it out of a grocery store that have went through a lot.
That's so right. I agree with that.
It tastes different. That's all I can say. So I'm ready for the cucumbers. If I can go out there, if the tomatoes are still out there, I'm ready to go grab me some tomatoes out there. People, when they would come, they would say, is it okay to go out in the garden and get some of those tomatoes? I say, sure, help yourself. People love that kind of stuff. They love raised bed grown vegetables or farm raised food and vegetables. They love it. They love it. It's good.
They do.
So now what's next?
We just got to get, we just keep moving towards our goal of getting the ground ready for this spring. So that's what we're working on right now. We have materials out there that need to be moved right now. I don't know if you've seen those big piles of wood chips.
Yeah, I see them. That's okay. It's
So
great. It looks beautiful. I'm telling you.
We're gonna have to we're getting all those moved and set to where they need to be in our space. So that's the next step.
We have a really, now it's not on soil, but the area right up underneath, behind the fence from the parking lot. You can feel free to use that area. While right now we haven't purposed it. If you want to put it in there and lock it up or whatever you want to do, you can do that in the area downstairs, outside. You know what I'm talking about? Y'all seen that area?
Yes.
That's helpful. Thank you.
Yes. So whatever we can do, because you're doing a great deed. You're doing a great deed for this community and for the city of Chattanooga. Wherever there are people that are in position to help, make sure that this goes as planned. We ought to all, every one of us, we ought to all dig in and give what we can give to make that project a success. So if my digging in, Alton Park Development Corporation's digging in means giving you some land to do it, you're helping the people. You're helping the people. One of the most unselfish things to do is to give. It's to give.
Good food shouldn't be a luxury.
Yes.
So this is thank you for the opportunity.
Absolutely.
You're so welcome.
Thank you,
so
Dr.
welcome.
Give that a try.
And I know you all know the difference when you go to these Whole Food stores, the cost difference between the Whole Food stores and their food that they sell, and say some of these other stores that are not Whole Food stores, and they're low price in comparison to Whole Food. It costs to do what you all are doing. If it's nothing but labor, sweat, time, the cost of the supplies, the manpower, the people that you all have to pull together to get it done, the amount of days and hours and things, pulling in agencies like environmental protection agencies and all these other governmental agencies, having stuff checked by the health department, if that comes to be. All this stuff takes time, money, sweat equity. It costs to have good food. And like you said, it shouldn't be a luxury. When you grow food on the land for people, it shouldn't be a luxury. It shouldn't cost different than it costs for some of the other stores. I don't know how I don't know how they're doing it, but they charge less and the food tastes bad.
Right.
It tastes bad.
And that's one of the things that we want to help do here at the community center is have a space where we have a grocery store and we do have a full functioning kitchen. So those are the things that we want to.
And guess what? You know what? You ain't saying nothing because we got a space for a full functioning store where they can harvest stuff. They can distribute it, and we have a kitchen. All we got to do is get you all to send some donations in so that our kitchen, which is a commercial kitchen, it has a 3-part sink, 2-part sink, and 1 separate sink to wash the hands with. It has a hood in there. We just need an ansel. Is that what it's called? Ansel to put the fire out if we cooking something in there. The fire department came and gave a list of stuff that we need. If you all will start donating, we're looking for one good donor to give us a good, $25,000-$30,000?
Absolutely.
Yeah, to get it kicked off to where we can do this thing.
Start feeding the community.
Start feeding the community, give them a good place. And do you all ever cook? Y'all ever cook? What would you do with the commercial kitchen? Besides,
I cook a little bit. I cook a little bit.
You cook a little bit?
A little bit.
Yeah.
I know how to eat better though.
Okay. Right. So, we need your help here. I mean, I would say begging for other people is my profession. Begging for other people is my profession. So if you like helping other people, you like begging for other people to make other people's lives better, then this is where you belong. And if you got resources to give to the begging people like us, then this is where you need to give it. Alton Park Development Corporation has been around since 1998. I apologize for that. Since 1998, we are a 501c3 nonprofit organization, and we are certified with the state of Tennessee and the Secretary of State. So everything that you give to us is a tax write-off. And all of our money is accounted for. We have some of the best people working in our accounting and financial areas to ensure that the monies that we receive goes toward what it's intended for. And so we are blessed to have such great leaders that came before me. In 1998, I've been here since 1998, but we had some great leaders. We had some great, and still do have some great elected officials that are involved with Alton Park Development Corporation and our success. Some great people in the community, such as UTC, our mayors, Mayor Wamp and Mayor Kelly, all these amazing people that sit on the councils, the county commission, the city council, all of these great people who pour in support to us. And sometimes that support comes in a way of a letter. It's just a simple letter to say these people are worthy to give your support to. That goes a long way sometimes. And so we have had the blessing from God, number one, that the right people have been in our life here at Alton Park Development Corporation that allowed me in the leadership position to do what God has put me here to do. And so I'm very grateful. I'm very thankful that I've been put in this position. And I thank you all for your trust. Because of your trust, we've been able to build a great organization, and we've been able to give back to a whole lot of people. We've been able to change the trajectory of people's lives over the past 20 years or more. We've been able to give in a meaningful way that have helped people overcome obstacles and challenges and help build their lives and give them a better way. I just thank God, number one, for the vision, because it's God's vision. And I thank God for putting the right people in the right place at the right time to do the right thing. It all comes from him. So I would be remiss if I did not say, to God be the glory for everything you see here. I told somebody the other day, we're standing on holy grounds, and anything that happens here is going to come through God. And when it comes through God to us, we know that we're doing his will when we bear good fruit. And we are bearing good fruit. We will continue to bear good fruit. And our African American Educational Heritage Museum is amazing. If you have not been here and not seen it, you need to come through it. It's changing all the time. Kudos to our curator, our iconic civil rights leader, Johnny Holloway, for all the things that he's done to shape this amazing museum into what it is. I'd like to thank Mr. John Edwards, the owner of the Chattanooga News Chronicle. He is what we call the go-to person for Black history, for bringing all this Black history into this one place and showcasing it for us to all learn and educate ourselves with. And also our Professor Harold Bryson, who has over 57 years of educational experience and has his master's in history and education, to be our leader in our education department, teaching us about the culture of African history. And he is amazing. The next class starts January the 15th. Each class is $20. We meet once a month, so it's not drag on. If you are ready for an African-American educational experience, you need to take this class. I've taken the whole course. I was blown away. I have come into knowledge that, they say if you stop learning because you think you know it all, that's when you become dumb, right? So I did not know how dumb and ignorant I was about African history. Here I am, an African-American woman, and I don't know a tittle bit about what I should know about my own culture. And I took this class and was just blown away. It's one of the best classes. I took 4 years of Black history at the University of Tennessee at Knoxville and never learned one thing.
Wow.
Never learned one thing about African American history and culture. I feel empowered, and I feel even better now. about everything that's happening. That's why I can rest. I can smile. You know, I can carry on. Despite what we see that's going on in this country, we are a great nation and we are all great people. And we have done great things and we have overcome some of the worst things and challenges that a nation could bear. And we'll get through this. You know, everything, history sometimes repeats itself because we didn't learn our lesson the first time.
That's right.
You understand what I'm saying? And so if this is God's way of saying, look, I told y'all the first time that what was going to happen if you kept doing this. I already showed y'all what I can do. But it seems like I'm gonna have to kind of let, y'all just not gonna get it right. So I'm gonna let y'all feel a little bit of pain a little bit. I ain't gonna kill you. I'm just gonna let you feel a little bit of pain because I love you. So I know that God is still with us. He'll always be with us. And we've got to learn our history. We've got to learn where we come from. We've got to learn the cultures of everybody so that we can better understand each other, and our communication levels will get better, and we'll begin to, I call it, work together, do things together, eat together, pray together, all these things that God wants us to do because he created us so different. He created us so different, and we all have different strengths, and we need to appreciate the different strengths in all the different cultures so that when we work together, we'll be one of the greatest people of all that God has ever created. That's all he ever wanted anyway. We are his creation. We are of him. We were created by him. And nothing that God created that's of him is bad. We get bad, but that's not what God intended for us to do. So I love my sisters and my brothers. I don't care where you come from. I don't care what culture you come from. I don't care what you know and what you don't know. Because I know something that you don't know, and you know something that I don't know. I want to know what you know that I don't know, and I want you to know something that I know that you don't know. So that way, we know what each other know, and now we're powerful together because our knowledge is so great that there's nothing confusing about life. I tell people all the time, I've got all this education that I'm blessed to have. And I have been all around the world. And the one thing I learned in life wasn't science. And you've probably heard me say this before. It wasn't science. It wasn't arithmetic. It wasn't even to learn how to read. The best education I got from college and all these other places that I've been, institutions that I've been in to teach myself stuff, the best education that I got was learning how to get along with other people and the different cultures. That way, I'm confident in who I am. I'm confident in who I am because I don't fear who you are. Because I know you. Because I studied you. It's nothing confusing about that. When you study somebody and you understand their cultures, it allows you to appreciate and love them better because you understand that your culture is not their culture. They understand when they learn you that your culture is not their culture, but the cultures are great. Right. The cultures are great. You know, when you learn how to eat food from another country that you never have tasted before, and you taste it, and it's delicious. Like where I come from, soul food is number one. You know what I'm saying? The turnip greens, you heard I saw some turnip greens, the neck bones, all this stuff, the greens, pinto beans, cornbread, macaroni and cheese. That's what's good. That's my culture. The things that we eat. But I love to come to your house and eat your stuff. So I'm like, what's this right here? I ain't never seen it. This is good. And then I start preparing it. Right. You can prepare it better than me because that's your culture. You know how to put the spices in there and mix it up and get it taste just right. It may take me a little while, So that's what I love. I love knowing and understanding different cultures. That's why I'm confident in who I am. I can go anywhere. I can change my voice. my people in my corporation, they say, now, Dr. Woods, are you Becky today or are you Shanae? I said, it depends on what you say and what you about to do. Now, I will give you Becky if you act right. I will give you Shanae if you act bad. Two different cultures. They both work.
That's great.
They both work. So what I'm saying is, once you're confident in yourself and you understand different people and different cultures, you know how to blend and get along with everybody. And you love everybody. You love everybody.
Well, that's why we're here.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So the secret to life, if you're out there listening to me, is not just being good at who you are. It's about understanding who they are. They are, and accepting who they are. Like, don't try to change me. I will not try to change you. And we're going to appreciate the value that each person has and what they can bring to the table to make this project that we're doing right here at the Civic Center with the farm a better project. We got some farmers that are African American that I'm telling you, they can grow some stuff that make your head spin, and we got some white folks that can grow some food that make your head spin. Appreciate each other and the value that we all bring to the table. And we're going to have the best farm in the city of Chattanooga. I might just end up not putting no houses on the land. We may end up just having one of the best farms in the city. Okay, we got a question. What's the question? How do you keep the bugs away with home gardening? And what about the bad rainy storms that we have? Cheryl. Thank you, Cheryl, for that question. I'm going to leave that up to the farmer. That's a good question. I even want to know that. Y'all answer that question. That's for y'all.
You will go?
You got
it. Everybody's got bugs. The question is, how healthy is your soil? Because there's good bugs and there's bad bugs. And one of the things we're going to do out here is plant a lot of the wildflowers that attract the good bugs to keep the pests in check. And rainy storms, I think we're all figuring out how to deal with that. The rains are getting harder and harder. Again, soil. The healthier the soil, the more resilient it is.
More roots in the ground absorbs more water. So that's one thing that we practice too, is we actually catch storm water, and we help the amount of water that's being dumped on our streets by catching the rainwater, and then also letting the plants and the roots do the work, absorbing it. So that's one of the practices we have.
I love it. So it's not a bad idea then to have some of these trees out there.
It's good.
Collecting some of the water. Now, when I first met you all, there was some idea about, you're talking about the stormwater, right? The runoff, that we could put something in place to help catch some of the rainwater. Is that still part of the proposal or the plan to do, which would help Auburn Park Development Corporation's stormwater bill, right? Mm-hmm. I think we talked about that. So tell us how the stormwater runoff collection process works. What is it? Is it a can? Is it a bucket? Is it a trowel? What is it? What is that?
Any project we work on, we're just looking at how do we catch the energy that's there. If that's roof runoff, we are going to plant and do earthworks in such a way that water goes from the surface into the ground, and it acts as passive irrigation. Because like this question, the rains are getting harder, but the droughts are also getting worse. So what we're focused on here is how do we build the soil in a way that catches the rain when we do get it, and then creates a little bit of resilience when we hit that 3-4 month dry spell, late summer, early fall.
Oh, okay. So you can recirculate that water that was caught.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Wow. Okay. Oh, wow. I put my hat on. Go out there and be a farmer here. That's awesome. Thank you, Cheryl, for that question. Another question by Michael is there a priority of planting certain foods that strengthen the soil?
Well, what we did last fall when we set up the first beds was put in a cover crop for the winter. And that cover crop is 7 or 8 different species, some of which is food. So in that mix, you'll have in the winter kale and peas and radishes. So we try and focus on building soil with things you can eat.
Okay, so is that kind of like an ecosystem
Exactly.
where you have a little bit of this and a little bit of that, a little bit of this and a little bit of that.
Mhm.
Okay, so ecosystem becomes kind of self-sustaining, maybe? Is that the purpose of
That's
creating?
exactly what we're trying to do. We're trying to create ecosystem where it's being lost. So that's one thing I would say. And the way you do that is always goes back to the soil, how you're taking care of the soil and trying to continue to try to make that as fertile as possible. And you do that by biodiversity, as many plants as possible in an area that can support the ecosystem that's there and actually support the area that it is in.
Okay. All right. What about the nutrients? So, I've watched some television. I'm a television girl when it comes to certain things. That's about it. I understand that this is my question to you too. How do you make sure that we don't drain the nutrients out of the soil that we have? Do you turn the soil? You change the type of crops you put in the soil? How do you make sure it continues to be nutrient rich so that the crops that are coming out have the desired effect that you want?
Think of every plant that's out there as a solar panel.
Mm-hmm.
That plant is catching the sun's energy and sending it right into the ground. So the more we can have growing during the year, the better. Okay. Which is why we planted a crop back in the fall that's going to be sending that energy into the ground during the off season.
Okay. Right. So do you have to turn any of the soil that you have down there? Does any of it have to be turned?
So that's what we're doing right now. It's just we have an initial turning and that's it. One time.
Oh, you don't have to turn it once?
One time.
Ever?
Forever.
Forever.
And then the rest of the stuff that you grow, we cut it as mulch. So we're going to grow our own straw for the beds.
Wow, y'all. That is, man, I'm so excited. I'm ready to see it. So do you have any idea what trees you all want to plant out there on the site? So I can get myself ready to eat.
Personally, I want nuts and fruit trees as well. So we still haven't got that completely set and locked in place yet, but we know that we want to put some fruit trees and nut trees on that space. So
okay, kiddos that enjoy the park out there that we have for you guys, playground. In about 7 to 10 years, you may have some fruit trees and some nuts bearing some fruit, right? Some trees bearing some fruit. Is that what it takes? About that amount of years?
Well, if we get trees that are more mature, they could be sooner. They could be next year. We have fruit.
Find some of those. Find some of those.
That's what we want to do.
I might be too old. Give me some quick. I am so excited. Y'all have really brought joy to this community. And I guess the next thing we will have to do is have an information session where people can come out and ask questions here. And we're going to get together with the next. Who's the lead person in this project? Is that you, Mr. McClure?
Well, I'm going to be the lead farmer on the project, but we have a whole group of us that we're all working together and trying to make it all do its thing.
Okay. If somebody wants to make a contribution to your organization that's doing all this wonderful work throughout the community to feed the people, how can they make a contribution?
Well, right now I'd say call Dr. Woods.
Okay, so Michael, show them the contribution QR code and how they can make a contribution. And when you make a contribution, because we have many projects going on, if it's for the farm project, please list the farm project so that those funds that you submit will be earmarked for the farm project. And I hate to mix up two different things, but I told our civil rights icon leader that I would mention that we are in the process of raising funds for a sculptured figure, a life-size sculptured figure of the first, um, um, what do you call it, Statue of Liberty, which was an African-American woman. And the history behind that, he will be on the show next week to talk about the history of what happened. Why did they change the Statue of Liberty from an African-American woman with chains on her to the European woman that we now recognize as a Statue of Liberty, and the history behind that, and why would we even have a Statue of Liberty in the first place? What was the purpose of that? So I'm not going to, spoil his day on the show next week, but be prepared, be tuned in to learn about the African, I call it Statue of Liberty that was put in this country, and the purpose of the Statue of Liberty and why it changed from an African woman to a European woman. We are going to talk and dive deep into that on our next edition of What's Happening in Your Neck of the Woods. As soon as our lead director here, Mr. McClure, Victor McClure, and I get together, we also want to talk about a telethon, how we can raise funds for the project, the farm project, and how we can raise funds for, I think they want to do a restoration of the kitchen. And we have a space for you all to give this food out. We have a room ready. I'm going to take you to the room today for them to pass this food out to the community in a uniform manner. Because, you could just say, yeah, it's free for everybody. Just go out there to the farm and just pick what you want. But that would be chaotic, and it would probably ruin the project because there's a certain way things have to be pulled. Am I right?
That's correct.
You have to harvest the food a certain way. And so we want to make sure that the experts are harvesting the food and gathering the food and giving it to you in a manner that will, I would say, preserve our farm and allow them to continue to grow the food. So it will continue to feed this community for generations to come. But there you have the QR code. And depending on what you want to support, I'm asking you all today to support the farm project here at the Civic Center because it is amazing. The food is delicious. I've tasted it. You should come and taste and see how good the Lord is and what he does through we're his little minions or whatever you want to call it. We're his little elves, his people are here on earth, his angels that are doing his will. So you all come and taste of his goodness through the Chattanooga Civic Center at Mountainsides. I call it our farm. And anything else you guys want to say as a closing remark, other than we're coming back to you all with the schedules of when you all can come here and let's have a conversation. Because we're going to have conversations, right? Right here.
That's right.
Right here.
We're just looking forward to working with the community and working with you. And thank you so much for this opportunity. And we're excited. We're really excited about what this is going to do for Chattanooga.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You have any final remarks?
Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for what you're doing here.
All right. So, I'm going to appeal to our mayors. We got two mayors, Mayor Tim Kelly and also Mayor Weston Wong. Now, you see what we're doing. This is your city. This is your county. And we're helping your people. And we're asking you to always support us here at Alton Park Development Corporation because we're helping you. We're supporting you. And we will continue to support you because you are our mayor. And we want to let you know that you're welcome to come out and be a part of anything that we have going on for your city and for your county. I thank you for the past. Anything that you've done for us, I thank you for all of our fundraisers that we've had, any role that you've played in it. We thank you from the bottom of our heart because Alton Park Development Corporation could not be what it is today if it weren't for the people that support it and the folk like you who are in position to give and to see these projects go through. So kudos to our mayors, kudos to our city council people, kudos to our county commissioners that have ever given anything to this organization. Because my time will come and go, and there'll be another person here. So as long as you support it, it will be here. Doesn't matter who's sitting in the chair, support the vision, support the organization. Because when you do that, you're blessing so many people in the process. You all know that today is Saturday, so you know how I end my show. Tomorrow is Sunday, and you know that you've got to give the Lord some praise and just bless him because he loves to hear from us. And he said we should pray without ceasing. We should pray 24/7. 24/7. We should be praising the Lord. And it doesn't matter where you praise him. I know we should fail not to assemble ourselves. That's what the word says. But you can praise the Lord from your bed, from your living room, from your kitchen, from your front yard. If you're outside doing some farm work and garden work, praise him right there. Just give him some praise and let him know that you thank him for all the blessings that he has given you and the opportunities that he has given you. So I thank God for the blessings and the opportunities, and I will continue to do his will. And I thank him every day. I thank him for our media team here, Michael and Robin. They are what I would call some of the most supportive people with this organization. Robin and Michael work day and night, even when they're not here at the station. They're doing things at home remotely. So just because you don't see them doesn't mean that they're not busy doing things for Alton Park Development Corporation. They are a valuable team player to this organization, and they know how to document things. They know how to keep us on the air. They listen to make sure that there's no black air or dead space on the air. So I thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. They keep our equipment going. If something goes down, they'll say, Dr. Woods, we need an XYZ. And I say, okay, if you can go online and find it and send it to me, I'll pay for it, through the organization. So I thank you all for caring enough about WPTP 100.1 FM radio. We've been on air for how many years now, Michael? Has it been 15? How many years has it been? I can't even remember now. Stop counting. It's been a long time, more than a decade, probably going toward 2. But I thank them, especially Michael's been with us since day one. I thank them for being a part of this amazing broadcast here. We are not only seen and heard here in Chattanooga on 100.1 FM radio, but we're also being seen on YouTube. We have a YouTube channel, thanks to Michael and what he does with the social media aspect of it. Our Facebook page. We have Instagram and Twitter. So we are being seen all over the world. Anywhere there's internet, you can tune in. You can use your Bluetooth in your car, plug in. If you're traveling to California, you can hear Chattanooga WPTP 100.1 FM radio from your Bluetooth. So I thank these guys here for making sure that can happen every day. And if anything happens, they contact me to make sure that we get back on pace, that whatever it is that we have to do. Michael, I thank you for keeping up with that as well. Robin, if dead air goes on, he's able to divvy in from his house. He can go remotely, change the music, fix the music. I mean, we have an amazing, talented group of people here working here at WPTP. And we've had other people here, but these 2 men right here have consistently been loyal, faithful, and dedicated to this radio show and this station. I thank you all. I remember when we just had one big room. We didn't have a studio. We had one camera, and it was cockeyed and I call it cockeyed, and what's the other word? Cross-eyed and cockeyed. But we did it. with one microphone, one big room, nothing else. But we did it. And now the Lord has blessed us with so much more. We have a studio room. We have cameras everywhere. We have all types of equipment. I just thank God. I really do thank God. So if you want to support the radio ministry, you can do that as well, because we need support. These men are faithful, and I thank God for allowing us, the organization, to support whatever they need, because they support us. And so with that being said, go to church tomorrow, say glory, glory, hallelujah. If you don't have a church home, you're always invited to Greater Emmanuel Apostolic Church, where Pastor Paul Warfield Jr. is our senior pastor. We're located at 400 Tama Boulevard in East Chattanooga. Come on in and get some of this godly love put on you. And until next week, we'll see y'all. Come out, check out our garden. God bless you, and ain't nothing you can do about it. We love you, and we're going to keep on loving you. Until then, we'll see you.